Hello and welcome to SEO Hangouts with Josh Bachynski. C'est moi. This video I'd like to provide for you a 2016 SEO recap. Just a little 2016 SEO quickie telling you where we're going into 2016 and what's been going on. There's been a lot of crazy changes that Google's been making. Every time I make a video, they're making crazy changes, but they've been making crazy changes. And so this is not my full 2016 SEO basic to advanced course like I did for 2015. It has about 150,000 views on YouTube right now. So a couple people have watched it because it's a complete comprehensive course that I do every year telling you how to do SEO for that year. And of course I have to do it every year because Google keeps changing it every year. So this is not that. This is just a little 2016 quickie, if you will, just for Christmas, for Xmas, for the happy holidays, Hanukkah, whatever it is you practice, spaghetti monster, birthday, I don't know, whatever you practice during this time of the year, this is for you. And so it's a little 2016 where we're going SEO quickie, a little bit quick recap as well, and what's been going on for the last few months. And watch to the end of the video because there might be a little Xmas, little happy holidays present, SEO present for you, for my loyal viewers who watch. I just might have a little present for you in there somewhere, so watch for that at the end of the video. So, okay. So what has been going on in the last couple of months? Well, basically, the name of the game is Phantom, what Glenn Gabe and then the rest of the SEO industry is calling Phantom, the Phantom updates. Keep in mind that a lot of these nomenclature is not Google's nomenclature. Phantom isn't anyway. They would neither affirm nor deny such a thing existed. Well, I'll get to that in a second. Penguin, there's a new Penguin that is either has been released or is about to be released. We'll debate a little bit about that. I'll talk about that. And then, of course, different changes to Panda and things like that. And so this is what's been going on. So first off, Phantom. So Phantom was the name that SEOs such as myself or other SEOs like Glenn Gabe, who's, I believe, an SEO consultant out of New Jersey, I believe, they've been noticing a bunch of kind of shifting changes. Basically, this is all speculation on their part. So keep that in mind with a grain of salt. But if you look at the releases of Phantom, and you watch when John Mueller, a Google employee, was asked about the Phantom update and the releases that were made, they said that officially it was just a change in their standard ranking algorithms. It wasn't Panda, it wasn't Penguin. But then they also announced in the last couple of months, they've released something called RankBrain. So again, and there's also the Zonbie update I'm going to be talking about as well. So I'm going to be talking about Phantom, Penguin, Panda, RankBrain, Zonbie, all the important algorithms that are going to be very important for 2016. We'll move on to 2016. So what is RankBrain? So I think that Phantom and RankBrain, the Phantom updates are just shifts of them changing RankBrain. So what's RankBrain? RankBrain is their new artificial intelligence. They reported on it in the last couple of months in Bloomberg magazine and a couple other magazines, online publications. This is not just the Google web spam team and the search team have been talking about this. This is like Google has been proudly promoting this and telling everybody in the world about what they're doing. So that tells you about how serious they are about it, how robust it is, how unhackable they think it is, because they're willing to give us a fair amount of information about it. So if you remember a couple of years ago, they released something called Hummingbird. In June 2013, they released a complete rewrite of their algorithm called Hummingbird. Hummingbird is a completely new semantic latent indexing kind of algorithm, which takes spoken word phrases like, Google, what is the temperature outside? Converts that information into their entity data and spiders all of the web into what's called an entity database. An entity database is what they're using nowadays. It is not just a simple database of web pages. They extract the data from web pages, from mobile pages, from apps. They extract the data from anything that they can get access to and make entity databases of it. It's a relational database. You know, it's not just an entry, you know, josh.html on bachynski.com. There's this guy named Josh, whose last name is Bachynski, and he's done TED Talks, and he's an SEO consultant, and he has a Twitter account as his main account that he uses. You know, they're creating entities like knowledge. They're trying to understand the relations of everything, essentially. And so RankBrain, I have a point. So that's Hummingbird that does all that transformation and information. So Hummingbird kind of is like the memory, your memory. RankBrain is kind of like your cognition, which goes in the memory and spits out facts and answers. And RankBrain is an artificial intelligence that's used to, in one case, process natural language queries even better than Hummingbird already did, but also rank information based on numerous things. And they use RankBrain in a number of ways. It is a very smart machine learning program which takes in data from various sources, including, in my opinion, links, I think is what they're using for the disavow file. They take the parameters of the link, the web pages you put in your disavow file, they process that information, they determine what a bad link is, and then they have a statistical model that tells them if it's over a certain threshold of spamminess or badness, then they automatically ignore those links. I think they use RankBrain for that. Also, I think they use RankBrain for quality algorithms that use click data. So also in the last few months, both kind of sneaky black hats have been doing testing, but also white hat people like Rand Fishkin and Moz have been doing testing on clicks, and they've noticed a very viewable and predictable pattern of click patterns to your site. This also correlates strongly with what John Mueller's been talking about. There's been lots of, he's been talking about making sure people do brand searches for your site, among other things I'm going to mention. So I think they use this click data of what people are searching for, what they click, and if they stay or if they bounce back or not. That tells them if the searcher is satisfied, if it's a satisfied search. So I think that, and not only that, but I think this Zonbie traffic, this Zonbie algorithm that they released in the last few months as well, I think they're sending dummy traffic, and people have been watching them send dummy traffic to their site and try things like try filling out the purchase form, try clicking to the contact form, stuff like that. So I think RankBrain is being used to process that information to determine what's a good site or a bad site, and I think that is even a further enhancement of what they've been using already for the bounce SERP rate, to determine what's a good site or not. This is how they're going to move forward in 2016. So you have to make sure that your user metrics are good. You have to make sure that people are not clicking to your site and then bouncing under some number of seconds that you can be reasonably assured they didn't find the information that they're looking for. They have to find the information they're looking for. You have to terminate the search. Whatever they want. They want to buy red apples, you've got to let them buy red apples. They want to be informed about red apples, you have to inform them about red apples. And you have to do everything you can to be reasonably assured that you terminated the search and they didn't bounce back to Google and were annoyed and selected some other result. And there's a number of reasons why they can be annoyed, all the way from your content, to your speed of your site, to your design. It was gross, they didn't like it, or they couldn't find what they're looking for. Even your prices. There's been cases of people who have prices that are way too high and people have been bouncing back. They lower their prices, suddenly they got an increase in rankings. So that could be correlation, but I've seen similar things kind of happen. So there's any number of reasons why users can be annoyed at your site. And I think Google, and I've been saying this for a number of years now, but there's more and more data comes out, and I'm more and more sure that Google's tracking these things directly. So this is going to be factors for moving on to 2016 SEO. That's what RankBrain and Zonbie are about. Zonbie, they're sending zombie bots and traffic to your site. People call it referral spam. That could largely be Google trying to test things on your site. People have done testing in that regard. Not only this, but RankBrain is processing. It's the third. They've gone on record and stating it's the third biggest ranking signal. I'll be talking about that in a second because I'm going to do a bleedingly fast, quick run through of what John Mueller's been talking about for the last couple of months in the fall. And I think that factors into their linking algorithms and factors into some of their quality algorithms. I think Panda is the recent Panda patent that they've released in the last couple of months. And again, I've talked about all this in my previous videos. That's why I'm going so fast. If you have any questions at all, you can email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at joshbachynski. I'll say all this before I forget. You can watch more videos like this where I talk about a lot of this stuff in detail at youtube.com/jbachins, JBACHYNS. Now, so I think that this data also factors into Panda, and I think Panda uses both a static list of bad things that they just don't like about the web, like pop-ups and interstitials and keyword stuffing and stuff like that. So you can get a list of all these bad things. I actually went and I compiled a list of all the bad factors that any Google employee had mentioned, directly or indirectly, of what they thought bad factors were, because Google was not nice enough to release a simple list of don't do these things on your website. So I compiled that list. It's on my website, themoralconcept.net. That's themoralconcept.net/pandalist.html. So I think that Panda uses both, the quality algorithms use both that list, like too many ads above the fold, that kind of a thing, static stuff, and also user metric data as well, which they're getting more and more into, and they can track better and better and better. And trust me, it has nothing to do with analytics. They don't need analytics installed on your site. They are tracking clicks in Chrome directly. They can track anything that uses Safe Browse, which is Firefox, Chrome, and IE, all use Safe Browse, and they just moved Safe Browse to the mobile world as well. They can track what URLs you're clicking on because they have to compare what URL you clicked on to see if there's any malware there to pop up that red screen of death. Don't go there, there's malware. So black hats have tested and found and put packet sniffers on websites and found that they're collecting that information. They're tracking to what you click and where you click it. And so trust me, they can get all that data. Now, Penguin. So the other big thing, so I think Phantom is part of RankBrain. I think Phantom is tracking user metrics on your site, both bouncing back to the Google search, but also internal bounces on your site. And I think those are those shifts they've been doing. Now, they also, and this is all running in real time. This is all real time, right? Now, the other thing that they're moving to real time is Penguin. Now, Google had announced that for those of you who don't know, they consider Penguin to be a web spam algorithm. And that's mostly means backlinks, but they also look for some on-page stuff as well. You know, if you look spammy and this looks spammy, then they hit you. You know, they get their logic is pretty. Their logic seems to be pretty sophisticated there, so they don't just nail any sites as indiscriminately as they may have in the past. But they're still fairly indiscriminate, or at least more indiscriminate than I would like them to be. But they used to run Penguin on like a yearly basis. In fact, last year this time was about time they ran it. And but they wanted to move to a more real-time process. And so how I think it's going to work is how it has been working. But again, this is just my speculation because I haven't released it yet. It's usually on high exact match query. If the backlink site looks spammy, they have too many spun articles and too many high keyword density or too many high keyword density anchor texts put into a site that has too high keyword density and too high keyword density optimized pages. If you go over a certain threshold of 20% optimizedness, so to speak, compared to everybody else or whatever it is, then it looks like that's where the Penguin flag gets put on that page and demotes that page. Penguin still seems to be page-based. Panda is domain or subdomain based. That's the bad thing about Panda, that if you have a crappy blog, for example, that nobody likes and all the users are bouncing from, the problem is that they will hit the entire site or that entire subdomain of the site. So I'll be talking about that in a little bit more detail as well. So moving forward for 2016, Penguin looks like it's going to be running real time. Now, Google has claimed they were going to release it before Christmas of this year, 2015. The date is December 17th, by the way. That's when I'm making this video. And the problem is that if they're going to be running Penguin real time, they have to let this disavow file work. Now, the disavow file is a mechanism you can use through Google Search Console, which is another mechanism you can install on your site and tells you a whole bunch of Google stats about searches and crawl rates and things like that. And there's this section where you can upload a text file essentially of simple, all these URLs that are linking to me, ignore them. I don't want to count that link juice. At least that's how theoretically it's supposed to work. And Google's been saying for years that's how it works. Some Google employees, other Google employees have denied it, and that's not how it works. For example, I had a private conversation with Matt Cutts a year or two ago in XMS West in San Jose, where he admitted to me that the disavow file does not work like that because they don't want to give black hats a mechanism to spam a bunch, put a bunch of links out there, and then get hit or worry about it and just disavow a few and then keep going. However, it's been a long time since that conversation, and it's been a number of years, and Matt Cutts doesn't even work there anymore. And so who knows, it's entirely possible that if they're going to release a real-time Penguin algorithm where they're going to be hitting you on links, anyone can build links to your site and you have no control of that. And so they might, Google usually operates under the proviso that they're the only ones who are allowed to mess with your rankings, nobody else. It's perfectly ethical in their minds for them to demote you, but no one else should demote you. That's unethical as far as they're concerned. So usually, philosophically speaking, they usually try and give you a mechanism to get out of any negative SEO or protect yourself from any negative SEO. And so that's why I believe it's possible they might actually do the moral thing. It's possible. And make the disavow file actually work the way John Mueller has been saying it works, where it's literally a switch. If you put a URL in there, they go, detect link, check disavow file. If disavowed, do not count. If not disavowed, count PageRank pointing to that site. They might actually, or they'll process that on a regular, every couple day basis, just like they process links on an every couple day basis, and it'll all work in that big if loop kind of way. And that way you can control, you can tailor what link juice points to your site or not, assuming you know of the links and you have a tool you could find the backlinks. By the way, every single tool out there is not perfect, and they do not find all the links. Search Console gives you a list of links, which is pretty good, but then you need to use link research tools and a bunch of other things to find all the links. I like link research tools personally the most because it seems to police all the different sources, but none of them are perfect. Now, so I think that they're going to have to let the disavow file work moving forward in 2016. I have no idea if they will, and I'm going to have to test to see. Because the reason why I don't think the disavow file works when everyone else does is because they haven't done proper testing. For example, if the disavow file works to disavow links alone for Penguin, which is what we're talking about, then we should see some sites occasionally. We should be able to test and see whether or not, in order for us to say that it works, we need to find a site that has disavowed a bunch of links, but no links have been lost or deleted, so that we can say it was actually the disavow that did something and not the link deletion that did something. No one has been able to provide that yet. I admit it would be difficult to provide that information, but that's not my problem. I'm not the one saying the disavow file works. I'm the one who is proceeding logically and scientifically-ishly, as scientifically as we can in this industry, which is not very scientific, quite frankly, but as scientific as we can. I'm the one waiting for that proof before I say, yes, the disavow file seems to do something. There's a whole bunch of positive. There's a whole bunch of anecdotal data that shows it does something negative. It looks like it's quite possible to demote yourself by putting in all your links. Cyrus Shepard put all his links in a disavow file and see what happens. His site got nailed and hasn't come back yet. There's another site that recently accidentally deleted their disavow file list. This was just this last month. They accidentally deleted their disavow file list and they went up in rankings. Now, it's impossible to say that that had anything to do with the disavow file. The first one. The second one, either site, you can't really say for sure. But I suspect that the reason why, so here's my point about Penguin. They are going to release it for 2016. It's going to be released very, very soon. I think they may have already released it. Because it's just anecdotal data that these SEOs think, oh, it's Phantom. They want to put a name to it so that they can brand their name to the release. Oh, it's Phantom 3, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they have Star Wars fever. I don't know. They're thinking of the Phantom Menace. It's Phantom 3. I don't know what. But they like to attach their name. They like to name an algorithm, and Google has no idea what that they're talking about. And then they like to attach their name to it, and then they can write articles about it, and like I'll talk like that. So, no one knows where it is, and Google doesn't tell us anymore. So it really is, it doesn't make any sense to speculate on that level because it's too high and abstract a level. We can speculate at lower levels when we get actual statistics and actual data to make actionable suggestions. We SEO consultants, for you fine folks doing your own SEO, or at least trying to decide what SEO consultant to go with to see how discriminating their judgments are and how careful they are. Of course, the name of the game in 2016 SEO, want to guess? I'll give you 3 seconds to guess. Who of you can guess, and I'll give you a special prize at the end actually, who of you can guess is the most important thing in 2016 SEO? What's the most important factor in 2016 SEO? I'll check my watch, my skin watch. My Apple skin watch is embedded in my arm. Yes, Siri. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm not joking. It's risk mitigation. Risk mitigation is always the name of the game in SEO because Google doesn't give us the information. We are like doctors in the 1800s making wild guesses as to what's going on inside this body. And you don't want to hire the guy who's like, well, I'll just take a scalpel and cut you open and find out. That's not the SEO you want to hire, right? You want to hire the SEO who's very careful and only suggests you do things that will actually also make your site better, or he or she is very sure that this is a problem and will not hurt you to make any changes there in terms of wasting your money or your time or actually hurting your rankings. So that's the kind of SEO you want to go with. Risk mitigation SEOs, which I like to think that I am, and I try very hard to be, and I take great steps to be. So, yes. Anyway, so, my point was, so, Penguin, so they're going to release Penguin very, very soon. Uh, they're going to release Penguin very, very soon. I think they may have already released it. See, I think these changes, they have a bunch of changes in November and December. They're making a bunch of shifts. If RankBrain is already running Phantom, there's no need for them to do adjustments like this. RankBrain adjustments are not going to have big shifts. Penguin adjustments, a new algorithm, are going to have big shifts until they're all running real time, and they're all going to change real time. And then Barry Schwartz is going to be SOL. He can watch the forums as much as he likes. He can watch all the SERP trackers as much as they like. There are not going to be any big shifts like that anymore because everyone's site is going to be hit at a different time when they're crawled in real time. And that's another reason why Google is doing it. So that whole industry, the whole SEO consultant industry, is based on that model of analysis of trying to watch Google, what they're doing. They're all wrong. That is the wrong tactic to take. They're not going to get it's non-diagnostic. It is non-diagnostic. They're not going to get the information that they want. There's no discriminating data for them to determine anything other than they could say Santa Claus flew by my frickin' window, and I think that therefore they dropped the Santa Claus algorithm. What we do is hardly scientific at all, and that's completely non-scientific, right? The other way to do it is do correlation studies, which I've got powerful software to do correlation studies where I can do correlation studies on broad data sets on the queries. So you come to me and you say, hey Josh, I want to rank for Locksmith Toronto. I go, okay, Locksmith TO, no problem. What are your other 10 queries? Broken locks, TO, get a locksmith TO. I can do like 10 queries at a time, and I can show you what all the factors are for everyone ranking on that. It's not just me looking and guessing, I think they're ranking on links because I see a bunch of links back there. It's not that, because you don't want my frickin' guess. Although my guess, I've been doing this for 16 years, my guess is typically pretty good, but it's still just a guess. You want to go on the correlation information, and I can run huge data sets like that. If you want to see an example, check my previous videos. I have an example of the correlation software, how it works, and the kind of data you'll get out of it. In fact, now it's even better because we've been adding more and more into it as time has gone on. The software is still in beta. I might be able to get you a beta test if you want. You can contact me for that, or I can just run a report for you. You can see how it looks. I can do 10 queries. You can just get a broad data set of what everyone is doing, and then I run it on page 19 or page 20 and show you what not to do. Unless you want to rank on page 19, I show you how to correlate with those signals, and I show you how to correlate with the signals on page 1. Yes, correlation is not causation, but it is the next best thing we have because we can't open up Google and say, hey, Google, and see what ping pong ball is hitting what other ping pong ball. Link makes ping pong page. It was a labored metaphor to begin with. So that's Penguin. So I think they're going to be releasing it soon, if they haven't already released it. And the reason why I think they've already released it is because they couldn't tell us, right? Because we could very easily see the cause and effect then. There was method to my segue. There was madness to my segue. We could very easily see the cause relation. So if they said, December 4th, we released Penguin real time, we can see, okay, sites that were hit, and we can go, okay, look at their backlink profile, look at here. We can really tell much better what's going on. They can't tell us that. And we can say, okay, these sites disavow. They disavow, they all pop back up and go, the disavow file now works, right? So they have to make the disavow file work to protect against negative SEO, which, as I said, Google likes to be the only ones who gets to demote or mess with your rankings. They don't like anyone else to be able to do negative SEO. They want to do all the negative SEO because they're the good guys. So I think if they're going to make Penguin real time to maintain their philosophical stance that they've maintained for years, they actually have to let the disavow file work in the way they've finally worked in the way John Mueller said it does work, or he admitted over a year ago, it will work this way. It will. He did speak in the future tense in one hangout. I caught him. And then so now it's finally going to work that way. I think he's just ethically been soothing his conscience by thinking, well, it's eventually in his head, it's eventually going to work this way, so I'll tell everyone to do this. And we're using it for machine learning anyway, so it's all the same. It'll work either indirectly or directly. Eventually it'll work this way in this if loop. If disavowed, don't count that page rank. If not disavowed, count the page rank. Whether good or bad, right? Whether good or bad. And they already have linking algorithms which kind of hit you with negative page rank, and they're going to be running Penguin as well. It raises the question, and people have asked why even bother running a Penguin algorithm if they already have linking web spam algorithms, which John Mueller has said they do. But I think it's because they want to make an extra strong shift. Because remember, this is why you don't want to go disavow your links. Not all of them are bad. You don't know what they're counting. Google's AI is only as smart as about a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. So that 4 or 5-year-old is going to put some red blocks in your red block bucket, bad, and some blue blocks of your blue link bucket, good. And there's going to be a percentage chance where it's going to put good ones in there and just ignore all the red. And so if you put 1 million links out there, it's going to count 10,000 of them, which were spam and should have been ignored anyway. And that's just the way it is, unless they really start demoting sites, and then the sites will all take a shift down to the bottom, as opposed to every site shifting up to the top as they build link juice. That's the way the PageRank algorithm works. That's why they're getting out of the PageRank algorithm. That's why links only account for, in my opinion, maybe 20% of the algorithm, if that. And there's other kind of offsite references you can get, and you need to get, and you should get. How long have I been rambling? 25 minutes. Wow. Boy, Josh can ramble. So I think that Penguin is probably already launched. I think they're already testing it anyway. I know they're testing it. If they're going to release it next week or the week after, you know they've already been testing it. And I think they can't let us know when they release it because they promised they would release it before Christmas. And then Gary Al said, I'm going on vacation. Yeah, I'll let you know, maybe, blah, blah, blah. You know, so I think they have already released it, and they can't tell us when they release it because it'd be too diagnostic for us to tell what's going on with the Penguin algorithm so that we can modify it. Because then Black Hats can go, okay, because now they've left the opening that Matt Cutts told me they didn't want to open years ago, a couple of years ago, is that now you can spam, you can put link spam out there, and then if you get into trouble, you just disavow, and you just keep moving along. They've made the mechanism for that to happen. And I think they have to, because otherwise then people can negative SEO like crazy your site. They can put bad links to your site, and Penguin will hit you, and you'll be screwed. You'll be fracked, right? And there's nothing you can do about it unless you have a disavow file, because you can't delete links. You can't delete links. This is another thing that people come to me, and they're all worried about their links. It's like, listen, there's nothing you can do about it. It's like if they're out there, right? So until I see that the disavow file actually does something, I'm not going to have you waste your time doing that. We're going to fix a bunch of other stuff. And then once that is fixed, or if that's already fixed, then we'll focus on the links. Because it's like, you know, I can't think of a good metaphor right now, but it's like, for example, let's say a gentleman gets into a relationship. Here, work with me here. Here's a metaphor for you. Let's say a young man gets into a relationship and is with this lovely person for 10 years and goes a little bit bald. I'm not talking about me. Don't talk about my hairline. Don't go back into previous videos and see how my hairline's been receding slowly over the videos. Don't do it. And let's say this person has some male pattern baldness. They get a little bit of weight. And then suddenly, unfortunately, the relationship fails. And they get back in the dating scene. Trust me, this metaphor works. Hold on. And then they come to me, the date doctor, and they say, work with me, and they say, Josh, I'm not ranking in the dating scene where I used to rank, right? I'm not getting the phone numbers I used to get. I used to get 1 phone number a night or 2 phone numbers a night, and now I'm not. It has to be the male pattern baldness, right? It has to be the receding hairline. So let's deal with that first and forget everything else. Where I say, I need to do a complete audit of your style and everything that's going on, because look here, we have some muffin top. Look here, you're wearing clothes from 1970s. Look here, you've got the gold chain nestled in the chest here. At least I don't have that. I have everything else in the midlife crisis, just not that. At least quite yet. I'll wear it for you next time. And I say, look, so you think it's just this, and you've pinned everything just on that, but it's not necessarily that. It's, if you will forgive the metaphor, it's the same thing with the links. They think, I know it's the links. Well, when did you rank there last time? 2 years ago. Well, it's 2 years. The entire scene has changed, right? And everything else here has changed as well. We need to do a complete audit and attack everything. And so it's easier for you to lose weight. I'm still working with this metaphor. It's easier to change your clothes and it's easier to lose weight. So that's the first thing we should try and fix before we go buying the expensive hair plugs or buying a toupee or whatever it is. So if that metaphor works for you, I hope it does. Because I worked really hard for it. I really reached for that metaphor. But it's exactly like that. Links are the hardest thing to change and a small part of the factor, right? I can rank you on those other things alone, right? And quite frankly, quality is the most important thing these days, and links are not the most important thing anymore. And the entire landscape, the entire dating scene has changed in how people rank things and how things are being ranked. So it's the exact same kind of thing. Don't try to fix the hard stuff first that you don't even know is really a big factor, and it's really hard for you to deal with anyway. Fix the other stuff first and see if you're getting enough phone numbers, right? See if you're getting enough conversions, if you will, to use the vernacular. before you go messing around with the hardest thing to do, which you're obsessed with because you feel insecure about it and everyone freaks out about it, but may or may not have actually anything or very much to do with it at all. So, how's that for a metaphor? So, I've been yammering on for 30 minutes, and it's my friend here, Gary Isles. That's Gary Isles, by the way. Gary Isles there, and John Mueller is over here. That's John Mueller. Gary and John tell me it's time to get the heck off this video. So moving forward for 2016, things are going to be real time. Things are going to be machine learned. Yes, they can get access to the data. You've got to do a holistic approach. You have to do a complete audit. You have to take a look at everything that's going on. Don't just siphon in on one thing. And people have been saying this for years, but I mean, I still need to say it because I still get people emailing me. And quality is the most important thing, and that is directly tracked by user metrics. And as far as the user metrics are concerned, it really is, do they do brand searches for you? Do they do brand searches plus, do they do Josh's Fruit Emporium space red apples? Because I know Josh's Fruit Emporium sells the best red apples, and so you want them searching joshsfruitemporium.com. You want them searching Josh's Fruit Emporium red apples or green apples so they can buy that there. That tells Google you're wonderful, that you're in the mind space. It's more difficult to hack, but not impossible. If you're going to do that, make sure you're doing aged accounts or IP addresses in the geographic location that are non-proxy and non-repeating. So they've got to be non-repeating for the most part. For all manipulation periods. You can't just buy a gig on Fiverr of people who do this, because they will have repeating searches, and they will get into a list, and if they do it too much, they will go over a threshold at a certain point, which is no risk to you. It's just a risk that the process is actually going to work. The best way to do it is organically. The best way to do it is white hat. So they're going to be doing these kinds of processes moving to 2016, so you have to do the holistic approach. Now, the XMAS present I was talking about, speaking of audits, for you, my lovely viewers who put up with my belabeled metaphors and my male pattern baldness, start doing my hair so it all pushes down like this. I'm going to offer you, for Xmas, between the time you see this video now, December 17th or so, to January 5th, I'm going to offer you 30% off of an SEO audit. That's right. I am going to do a comprehensive audit of your website's SEO. And when I say comprehensive, I mean comprehensive. Statistic-based, science-based SEO audits that I do. It takes me about 5 hours per site. I will do a complete audit of your complete SEO on page and off page, which is comprehensive. I don't just run it through these stupid tools online. It is far, far more comprehensive than any of these stupid, crappy little tools like all these different websites. I'm not going to mention them by name. That tells you, oh, your robot text file has this. I don't give a shit about your robot text file because it matters in 0.001% of the cases, roughly. I'm going to check things that matter, the things that really matter that hardly anybody knows about. In fact, just about nobody knows about. In fact, the more I talk about with people out there, my subscribers know, because I give these secrets away in my videos, and I tell you exactly how to do it if you want to do it yourself. Because I'm that kind of a guy. I don't know, I think information should be mostly free, and I mostly like to give it away because I have a big mouth and I can't stop. Receding hairline notwithstanding. So, I'm going to offer you 30% off my 5-hour SEO audit as an Xmas present. No limit. Email me. If you email me for this thing and you want to get this SEO audit, I have a waiting list already of 2 or 3 weeks. But if you email me before January 5th, you're watching this, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. My email will also come up at the end of this video, and I will give you 30% off an SEO audit. And not only that, but wait, there's more. If you order before January 5th, I will also, and you get an SEO audit, I will also give you 30% off our buzz generation social link building packages. That's right. Our link building social packages, where we go online and we rave about you on forums and blogs and social media and little Reddit and Yelp, and make ratings and reviews for you, Google Plus, and we go on to Twitter, we go on to Google Plus communities and Google Plus my business and things like that. And we go on to BuzzSumo, we look at the major influencers, and we go on to Facebook, especially Facebook, and we put out interesting content. We put out interesting content about you. We rave about you. We put out reviews about you. We talk about how great you are. This gets you text mentions, no follow links, the occasional do follow link. It's only safe. We don't put any exact match anchor text in the do follow links. It's just about building buzz for you, and that's what we do, and we're pretty darn good at it. And if you order the SEO audit, I will also give you 30% off our social packages as well. So that's your Xmas present for my loyal subscribers. And I don't care if you're actually a subscriber, just email me if you're watching the video. But it's got to be before January 5th, 2016. So it's December 17th to January 5th, 2016. Why? Because I'm mean like that. I have to limit this at some point. Forever. And no, no, January 5th, that day, no later, I will give you, I've already got a waiting list of 2 or 3 weeks. So I'll give you, so this is my special present to you. I usually do some kind of present every Christmas. And this is the one that I do. I'm going to do this year. So I will give you 30% off an SEO audit. And if you order that, I will also give you 30% off a buzz generation package afterwards. I'd be happy to do so. And again, just so you get my SEO audit, it is not just some 2-page document. It's like 30 pages of dense, verbose, checking every single little thing, 90% of which you didn't even realize was important for SEO. Trust me, you need it. Trust me, whether I do it or not, you need this information. You need to know the state of affairs for everything that's going on for your rankings, what not to do. I check for negative SEO vulnerabilities, 3 or 4 that I know about from both my Black Hat contacts and my Google contacts, including private meetings I've had with Google after the fact, and I still have them. They don't, they haven't murdered me quite yet. So, yes, so I'm willing to offer this to you for 30% off. So, with that, I will bid you adieu. John Mueller says Merry Christmas. Gary Isles says Happy Hanukkah. And I wish you happy holidays, whatever holidays you practice. And again, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com if you have any questions. You can follow me on Twitter at joshbachynski. Also, I did a TED Talk recently about Google. TEDx Omagh, which is in Northern Ireland, about an hour outside of Belfast. And that'll be online very soon too. A couple dozen people have emailed me, where is it? I'm editing the video right now as we speak. I didn't like the job that they did, so I'm editing it myself a little bit. And then we'll be releasing that very, very soon as well. So if you're wanting more information about any of that, by all means contact me. You can watch more SEO videos where I leaked the top secret leaks from Google and from my own experimentation and my own 16 years experience. And I might rant a little bit, a little bit, at youtube.com/jbachynski, JBACH-. So with that, I bid you adieu. I wish you happy holidays, and contact me if you need anything, and good luck in the service. We'll see you next time.